question.
Categorically omitted from the street photography category.
Drone photography, no.
We are simply enthusiasts and therefore might be incorrect in our opinions.
Hello and welcome to Leica Virgin. I'm Blair and I have a Leica.
And I'm Dan and I'm a Leica Virgin.
Yes, you are. Why are you a Leica Virgin, Dan?
Multiple reasons. I'm not ready yet. I'm broke. That's one thing. No, those are two reasons. Those are really good reasons. Both not ready and broke.
That's a good reason to not buy a Leica.
Yeah.
Today, our topic is what isn't street photography? Because I think a lot of YouTube videos look at what street photography is.
Exactly.
And we are going to look at what street photography isn't.
Yeah, we're going to take some genres and eliminate them from the street photography pantheon and say these do not belong here.
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what isn't street photography?
Drone photography, Blair. You're a drone enthusiast. You've taken many a drone photograph in your time. But I think that we would both agree that drone photography is not street photography. And this is something that came up recently towards the end of last year. Do you want to tell us about it?
I do. I think it was Lens Culture hosted a street photography competition. And the winning entries was definitely a drone shot. Either that or it was a man tied to a hot air balloon. Whatever it was, it wasn't on the street. And you could see from the comments below the photo, the submissions, that there are a lot of people that were quite annoyed with the decision to make this a winning entry.
Yes. Random question for you. Would a man taking a picture from a hot air balloon be street photography?
No.
Would you care to expound upon why not?
No, of course. So I think that the way that street photography is nowadays has become a little bit distorted, right? When you look at the greats from 40 years ago, when I say greats, Joel Murrowitz, I always call him Joel Voldemort, and he probably won't appreciate that, but it's just because he wears like the massive black coat and he's bald.
Yeah.
Bald love.
Yeah. Are you his son?
I wish I was that talented. And you look at like Elliot Erwitt, and you look at... I'm just talking about the greats. Street photography was always about the moment. Mm-hmm. And when you take something from any level of height, right, past, I would say, even a certain amount, you're no longer within that moment. You're
More than one or two stories above street level.
Where you are close to human contact. So I would say categorically, even flying with a low drone, it's quite difficult to replicate the effects of being a bystander or someone that is also in the moment as it unfolds.
Also, I think if you're flying with a low drone, you're likely to disrupt a scene and the pedestrians' ground level activity that you're trying to photograph because they will notice a drone and probably be terrified.
100%. Yeah, you're at risk of hitting someone and at risk of disrupting everything. So I would say no. If
you did hit someone, it would make for a fantastic opportunity for a street photograph for anybody on the ground who catches the moment.
Oh, yes. If there's a street photographer there and a drone photographer flies the drone into someone, street photographer's got some interesting material, potentially.
Yeah.
For me, drone photography, no. And I could see from the responses that were submitted to Lens Culture that a lot of people agree with that. Because it is really difficult to be in the moment when you're however many meters or hundreds of meters in the air.
I completely agree. And I think we could both agree that it was a beautiful photograph and an interesting image. Maybe not totally unique. I think we'd seen images a little bit like it before, but it was a nice looking photograph, but categorically omitted from the street photography category.
Yeah, categorically eliminated from the category.
Done. Draw a line under it.
So, another thing, what isn't street photography? Street portraits.
Well, asterisk, street portraits that are posed with permission or predisposition, shall we say. Mm-hmm. Candid street portraits, if you catch someone in the moment and it's a portrait shot and they don't know that their portrait is being taken or they know only in the brief second before you catch them, I think that can be considered candid and true and authentic. Mm. However, if you've said to someone, hey, you look great, please could you stand there so I can take your picture, or they have a decent amount of seconds to prep their body and their body language beforehand, then I think it becomes something slightly tangential. I've never said that word like that, to street photography.
So I think with street portraits, it's quite interesting because I think that a lot of photographers tend to intersperse street portraits with their street photography. And when I say street photography, I mean candid street photography. So when you look at people like Philip Penman, he has a lot of work where you'd be looking through it, candid street shot, close-up street photo of someone really interesting, but you can see it's a little bit more choreographed and posed than the other shots. And I don't see an issue with that. I wouldn't necessarily call it street photography, but I think that street photography tend to lean towards that method of creating a portfolio of work.
Sure. I'll ask another question, a loaded one,
Okay.
potentially, is that if we do define those lines as not street photography versus street photography, when it comes to street portraiture, does it matter and why?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, yes and no. I think it takes a lot of skill to be able to spot something that happens in the moment and make a really interesting photo out of it.
Yeah.
I think it also takes skill to make amazing portraits. And sometimes they overlap and sometimes they don't. I think, does it matter? Purist street photographers would argue that you're documenting the moment as it unfolds.
Yeah.
And I know a couple of people, it was a friend of mine, we know him, we were in India with him, and he came to Hong Kong. This is a friend, Taylor, a very talented photographer.
Yep.
When you interact with the subject, as soon as you acknowledge the subject, I think for him the moment is broken, it's gone, right? He's quite okay to get up close, but as soon as words are exchanged, I think he feels that the purity of what is a street photography moment is gone. Whereas I'm okay to go up and nod, how's it going? Cameras in your face. Yeah, what about you? What do you think?
Oh, I don't know, it's a tough one. I think when you're cutting your teeth on street photography, when you're starting out, I think it can build confidence to have someone stand there for you. But I think as you grow in confidence and skill, it creates better story if you can capture a truly candid moment. It is a version of a truth that is a truth told without influence. I mean, this truth is an interesting word because it can mean lots of different things. You did mention that you said taking portraits is a skill in its own right. I didn't realize it was a skill. I thought you just need an 85mm focal length and a f1.2 and just point it at someone's face.
Completely.
And press the shutter about 12 times.
That's the way that it goes.
Airbrush the features.
And you have to hold the camera like this.
Oh, no. We don't do that. What about equipment, Blair? Which
It's
equipment?
a very personal question.
He's got him.
So we're talking about things that are just like beyond the camera. We're talking about, when you say equipment, that's such a broad category.
I'm
of things.
so sorry. I should have been more specific.
Yes, please. So tripod, lighting,
Yeah. Oh, yes.
additional accessories. Are we talking about?
Yes.
I could talk about some Leica accessories, but I'd have to contribute to the dollar jar.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know what they are because I don't have one.
Okay, let's start off with tripod. What do you think about tripods?
Oh, wonderful, brilliant. If someone comes to attack you, and then I like them, but I don't know what their place is in the world of street photography.
I think that's a fair opinion as well, and I'm inclined to agree. I do think that tripods, they have a place. And when you're doing a lot of street stuff, when you want some light trails or you want a bit of motion blur, then tripods can come in handy. But you can also do that handheld.
May I stop you there?
Go on, you may.
Why would light trails be part of street photography?
They wouldn't. I'm just saying if you wanted them.
So we agree.
I think we agree. I think if you're carrying around a tripod,
Yeah.
you're not looking for the moments. I keep coming back to the moments, but it's very, very difficult to be like, oh, there's a great moment going on. Give me a second whilst I adjust the height of my gimbal head and open up the legs and everything. And no. What about flash? You like flashing?
Well, we don't talk about my past, but I personally I'm very inexperienced with using a flash in street photography environments. I like the idea of it. I respect many of the flash photographers.
Do you? Bruce Gilden?
I respect the man. I think he would not be allowed to do nowadays what he did in the 80s because people would be largely alarmed by the somewhat aggressive approach to his flash photography. But there's some amazing images, and we could talk about that more deeply in another conversation. But I think one of the things that we've talked about in the past is off-camera lighting in a street environment. We once encountered a street photographer, or a travel photographer, if you will, who had with him a battery-powered lighting kit that he would use to light his subjects, but then that made it planned and not candid, despite it producing some beautiful imagery. So that's a very roundabout way of saying, I think a flash might be okay, but off-camera lighting is not.
Interesting. Very interesting. And I think that we should probably caveat this video by saying that everything that we're discussing is our opinions.
Correct.
And street photography, I think, is probably flexible enough that you can have multiple interpretations of what it means.
Absolutely.
But I agree with you. I think that when the light comes out and I think that's where, for me as well, you would potentially step out of the bounds of street photography and more into street portraiture.
Yes, and then just to echo your point about the fact that we are not experts, we are simply enthusiasts, and therefore might be incorrect in our opinions. And if you disagree with us, please write it on a piece of paper and just throw it in the nearest bin. Or just comment below. We can engage and have a lovely discussion.
Yeah, have a little chat. Yeah, absolutely. Really, the hill that I would probably die on as far as street photography is going, arguments are concerned, the hill that I would die on is that street photography needs an element of humanity in it. Should have something that shows, and it could be like a bench or footsteps on the beach.
Ooh.
Footsteps on the beach.
Deeply controversial.
Why? What's your
I don't know.
So why is a street without someone in it not street photography?
I mean, I think the Oxford English Dictionary would say that a picture of a street is probably the definition of street photography, but I don't know if I would agree. I think that street photography needs a subject or a story.
For me, it's four things.
Yeah.
And now that I said that it's 4 things, I'm probably going to forget at least one of them.
You can't forget this because if you're laying down the law, this is now your rules.
Elements of humanity.
Okay.
Right? Interesting, or there has to be something going on in the photo
Yeah.
that the viewer would find interesting, because otherwise you just have snapshots.
Yeah.
Right? If there is nothing particularly interesting about the photo, you're taking snapshots, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that when you look at street photography, your photo should be trying to say something on an emotional level or a reactional level. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, would you look at that? What's going on there? Like, those are some of the reactions that I would say. That's number 2.
Okay.
Number 3,
Yeah.
minimal editing.
Ooh, okay. We should talk about this
Minimal
at
editing.
length a little bit.
Minimal. So
When I
when I say minimal, I mean dodging and burning is okay.
Yeah.
If you want to use your... I'm just going to walk off now.
I need to work on my pantomime.
If you want to use your Lightroom filters to direct attention to certain things or mess about with the lighting, fine. As soon as you AI Photoshop something into the photo or remove copious amounts of the image,
Yeah.
no, that's not street photography. That's 3.
I agree with you on the copious thing. We'll talk about that a bit at length another time, though.
And then the 4th is spontaneity. Spontaneous, unposed, unplanned. I think those are 4 things.
That sounds to me like the worst kind of holiday.
I think the first one was, now you see, now I've completely forgotten them.
Spontaneity.
Spontaneity, minimal editing,
Yeah. Those are the last 2.
elements of humanity.
And then the second one was?
No, I completely forgotten.
Hold on, I'm backtrack. No, I've forgotten also.
Spontaneity, elements of humanity, minimal editing,
And something of interest.
and something of interest. Yes, and interesting. Those are the 4. That's it. Done.
Done. So that's street photography.
For me, yeah.
Well, it's very confusing because we're making a video about what's not street photography. So you just come and put your rules in like that. It's very confusing for the viewers.
We'll have to re-record this.
Yeah.
The 4 things for me.
Classic
were
Leica
fine.
people just doing whatever they want.
I know, we're terrible. We're a scourge. Shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today to listen to us talk about what isn't street photography. Maybe on the next one we'll talk about some things that are.
Absolutely. And if you would like to see more from Leica Virgin, then please do subscribe to the channel and follow and share and like and do all of the stuff that people usually say at the end of these videos. We will see you guys on the next episode.